President Mahama has done an amazing job so far, and I will score him 10/10.
Many of my was na me wakwa abanyankopon hira se o hwe me. K2 South MP I friend say Edem Agbana. We a very young man. Na ansa na ebe hwe sa video we no. Me pese wo bo wonsam e de ema no. Man no a kire say we are very intelligent. Nipa bi mu sei e na ye pe say ye de bekyekire oman Ghana. We ye NDC ni dem na asem bia wo de aba betudwa no mani agi sa asem no ho. Ote de bia beka se me ametie se me kasa as a neutral person. Menta NDC echi na menta NPP echi. E ba sa na de me ye no kura no. Chima bi ebeba ho. What you say? It is the obey ade e ye no yabona ba so de obey ade a enye no na yakondeme sei na bemboa amoman Ghana etumi akonanim. Oba bedi nkommo bi e de afa His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ho. Wabona ba so na wobona ba so ewie no asem bia o kan ye de fa man no ho His Excellency ho any appointees any other peoples in the political party NDC no ho no amamani age no ho yie pa na ansa na ebekwa akohwe ni video no Shamima Muslims ono nso ababedi nkomo bi e de afa nkrofo a omo call for state of emergency concerning galamsey a ekoso e wa Ghana memu ha no ehun na asem a all kan ene say NPP e buy for 8 years they were not able to fight this galamsey na omo de omo buy no 8 months eko 9 months any but what they have done concerning galamsey ono a obeka amawate ebia wote a de all no ono be ya adwen ebi nso a wone no enya adwen yebekwa kohwe ni video no na ansa na yebekwa sa videos mienu we so no ye papa ba ko ono nso wo ye NDC ni ono nso waba bedi nkomo bi e dia fa galamsey kuro yi ahu o si the way NPP fo omo behave no on person obeti the word galamsey kuro e dia through omo ano because they are behaving as like hypocrites momo betina ba mu 8 years edien na omo eyeye so omo tumi survey galamsey issue na anka ye yi omo anfiri ho enti nkrofo bi mo ho betimi akasa ade afa ho say CSOs civil society organizations any well-meaning Ghanaians can talk about this fight but enye NPP for because they don't have the moral right to talk about this galamsey to no so atoto bi ade amane NPP for say they should keep quiet ena waka nsem bi ade afa galamsey fight no eho ti ansa na yebekọ sa videos menu na mdikan ekan no no so no yenko na yenko he sa video we emra yekoba ebeto so ade afiro na bestro ansa na yebekọ he sa video unya subscribe na ye part of this family na the etwagu eye politics entertainment any trending news bia e ha na obenya bi ahwe na wanya bi nso atie ye hwe ni video no emra yekoba ebeto so ade afiro medawase.
Do you know what is annoying in the galamsey conversation? The position of MPP is very much annoying in this conversation. You signed a social contract with Ghanaians for 8 years. At the time you were leaving office, galamsey had escalated to an unprecedented level, to the extent that even the seat of government was virtually described as a galamsey hub. That is the record of MPP. And so it is annoying to hear them criticize the government, which is only 8 or 9 years, which is making the effort, 8 or 9 months, which is making the effort, which is doing things better than what you did. It's quite annoying. But you see, we need to make that clear distinction. It is very important that someone had 8 years contract with Ghanaians and failed woefully. I don't think that person has moral authority to be attacking this government, 8 month government on galamsey. Let's put that on record. MPP can never be the alternative to NDC in terms of galamsey issues.
How about the civil society groups?
Yes, so that is the group of people that I expect. So when they speak, I put value on what they speak.
They said that they are not getting that sense of urgency. You
yes,
agree with
because
that?
they have their own expectations. You see, when people have so much expectations, I've been telling people, if we don't promise someone and we give the person 5 cities, the person will appreciate. But if you promise someone 1 million and you give the person even 50 Ghana or 500 Ghana, the person will not appreciate it because of the kind of promise you gave. So on the basis of promise and expectations, I understand where the civil society organization is coming from.
Wakasa iye pa na me de mihu e de say nobody yesi nipa bia ni ha o de ne nsa bekum e be kire de kurom kwan. Idi we a o kasa no utimi hu say o yan di sini. Nti ne nsem bi wo ha o ka no say o opposition na nkanye sei e na nkombe kasa. But se da bia me de me kasa politicians no me kan kire mo say omo kasa mo ma yenti omo tutu because ene wa ban mu de okay sanko opposition nanka on kasa asem no waje ase afi yenko Shamima Muslims na asem no so ode aba ama omo kan say His Excellency should declare state of emergency. But answer na ebehwe the video no ye hwe sa videos we emra time mo na NDC fo no bi omo opposition na omo call for state of emergency na time mo na mo opposition mo call for de na se ne mo nya kwanya ba adi ntina mo ntimi declare eno na Shamima ode anu yie aba say yenti yentumi declare no ene sa asem na His Excellency kura na nsen we share media no ode nsem bi atudwa but me pese etie de Shamima okae ye hwe videos we emra ye koba me de Shamima de no ebeto so me da mwase.
Do you think
yes, I think that national emergency be declared now.
For a state of emergency is a legitimate one. And all of us will join the protests that organized labor and all recognized groups, associations, the clergy, the apostolic fathers, all of them, what they are calling for. We will all join that demonstration if the president doesn't wake up from his slumber. Okay. They should stop issuing new licenses. They should declare a state of emergency. All mining should just stop now.
The issue about declaring a state of emergency. We hear everybody's concern and we take it on board. And His Excellency the President accepts the concerns from every well-meaning Ghanaian that we must do more to fight galamsey. Now, Shoko, the previous government did an 8-year term. You, I, Awula Sewa, and the other environmentalists did not start from day one calling for a state of emergency. They did not start in the first term of the president calling for a state of emergency. As for the advocacy against the growing spate of illegal mining, it even transcends the previous 8-year regime. But in the second term, when we saw a proliferation of licenses written and signed under the hand of the president, as contained and allowed by the Regulation 2462, the forests were besieged. The problems became dire. The environmental impact was evident through the reports that we watched on your channels. So it was a national advocacy of all well-meaning Ghanaians, media, the environmental activists, including political parties like the NDC. So it was towards the end of tenure of Nana Akufo-Addo, after the failures of over 5 different operations that even led to the loss of life of Major Mahama, that we came to the point and conclusion that the fight had collapsed under the leadership of the previous administration. That the leadership they had provided, the commitment that had waned as a result of findings contained in a report presented by a Minister of Environment, that his attempt to fight the menace was being frustrated from no quarters other than the high quarters of the presidency. Names were mentioned. That minister, the Professor Frimpong Boateng, lost his job as a result of that report he wrote. Please pardon me, just 2 more minutes. We did not therefore come to the conclusion that there was now active leadership complicity. Because you see, when you're faced with a complex problem, it is the leadership that will continue to provide hope. So now when you get to the point where the general consensus, again, not the NDC's consensus, general consensus with you, the media, with other stakeholders, that the fight against galamsey under the previous administration had collapsed. That is when the calls for the repeal of LI 2462, which is the LI that granted powers to the president to sign off mining leases in forest reserves, that also now opened up those forest reserves to the activities of illegal miners. So they said repeal LI 2462. NDC was in concert with that. Call for a state of emergency.
Okay.
Call for a state of emergency because all your powers for the past 8 years that you deployed had failed. Now, the Ghanaian people agreed that the NPP had failed, voted them out. You voted a new president in. Will you not even allow leave of this new administration to implement their programs under this new, renewed commitment on behalf of the people of Ghana? That is what His Excellency the President is saying. He's saying that we came in, we have made it top priority to fight galamsey. It is a vexed, complex matter. We have not seen the fight against galamsey as an event, but a process, which process was allowed for 8 good years under continuous advocacy. Do something, do something, do something. So please, what we are currently doing are the steps we are also deploying to ensure that we deal decisively with the galamsey menace. Perhaps you want the results in a quick succession. Perhaps you believe that a declaration of a state of emergency today, when under this new leadership that hasn't been accused of complicity at the highest level, that its Minister of Lands and Natural Resources has not come to say he is being frustrated by anyone, that has a president that tells even members of his government that if you go and get yourself involved in illegal mining or galamsey, and the law catches up with you, the law will deal decisively as the law should. So unless we begin to see that there is no commitment, please allow the NIMOS and the president some time to implement his programs.
President Mahama has done an amazing job so far, and I will score him 10 over 10. Because
10 over 10?
Yes, I will score President Mahama 10 over 10. As president, whatever he must be done from his office, must be done from his end, right from the caliber of people he appointed, the speed with which he made the appointment, how he has tackled issues of national security and critical issues of economic issues and what have you, and the struggle, the difficulty in placing this country back on the path of progress and inspiring hope in us again. Some few months ago or few years ago, it got to a point where the country was at a crossroad. Many of us lost hope in our country. But President Mahama, his leadership, his demeanor, and integrity has placed this country back on the path of progress. And many of us are beginning to hope in this country again. For me, he will get 10 out of 10, 100% performance. And the issue with oral that you have raised, I raised it earlier, that it will get to a point many people will not accept that MPP did this. MPP had ghost names. MPP created this mess. There was this corruption any longer. They will not accept it any longer. And this particular one, it is not even related to the president, or it is not about the president. For me, those who have been appointed to positions of trust, when you identify a challenge, that is why they voted for us. We campaigned that scholarships were being sold like kelewele, and so we'll come and correct it. And so when we are in power now, It is our duty to fix the mess and punish those who did wrong, those who destroyed this country. And if we are always, anytime I hear some of the CEOs speak, and it's always about what the previous administration didn't do right, honestly, I think that for some of them, it is becoming too much. I've also seen many of the young CEOs who have shown enough leadership go to Tor. Edmond Combat's inherited Tor that was in a mess. You know the issues with Tor. But he has given us a date that give me a few months. Tor will get back to full operations again. And they are working hard. And many others. Look at the things happening at DVLA. Look at NPA. And Gold Board, fantastic. Young, first-time CEO. I think that President Mahama generally got the appointments right, and he has placed the country back on a path of progress.
Okay.
It is now our responsibility to do what is expected of us. But I agree with Solo. Even me, when I went to my constituency over the weekend, I'm telling you, let Musa Dankwa or any credible poster go and conduct a survey. The people are saying that if oral fails, the government has failed. That's what the people are saying.
Okay. So
surprisingly, yes, the bread and butter issues, we are getting things right. Yes, we need to create opportunities. But the moment you leave, those who committed the crimes to go unpunished, then you create the impression that it is okay to do so. Okay. But tonight, I am looking forward to another excellent presentation from the president. And Joseph, I have said this on many platforms, I'll say it again, that President Mahama is an individual that, look, his understanding of our Ghanaian situation, he is not the kind of president that would defer questions to his ministers to answer. The gentleman is on top of issues, unlike what we saw in previous years. President Mahama has proven that he knows what he is about. Okay. And that, for me, is enough confidence. Tonight will be another wonderful performance from the president. And I will encourage you, the media, that ask great questions, ask relevant questions, ask questions that will bring out, again, the best in the president. And ask questions that will answer some of the issues that remains hanging in our mind.
The videos are we here. Time on NDC opposition, and they were calling mountain pressure on His Excellency, the former President Nana Addo Dankwa-Akufo-Addo, say on declare state of emergency. Time when I hear about Tuaba, so time did not omun say to me at their score political points. So they were mountain pressure on the president. And His Excellency so all to me and declare. Enti moba na Ghanaians expect say, no 3 months simple. Acha 6 months there was able to me a declare and able to me a show action be say more fighting against galamsey. But the air cosono and yes, and Ghana for say omo ehu. In the same kind, send another onyana so one yard to na mumaba. Moon to me enye na mumma excuses. Honorable Asilukantia or Bekambi, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, no so Bekambi, and a Shamima so all can be. What does it even Haruna Idrisu? Ene Amaku Fibua, Munina, our Mokayano. Even Okuja to a black or no so can be. Or Munina and no be so more, they will tell you different things. In the same opposition, yeah, you can see, ye baba more, you can see. In the say, Ebugana mana, a be year na, ye. Intimini ya mima mikasa enti mamifa wo ensia. Na die ya discuss no wo adwenkyere bia ko comment section ho. Na kire wadwen e wo ho. Na like video we subscribe so. Na bibia la enye kama. Mamika senyakopon o nhira se kwahwe me e dia besi this time. Mamifa wo ensia na besra se obehwe wo ho so yi. Nyankopon do me so me do. Me ne wo ebehie bim sesi ye die. Background. Bye bye.